Hello. I've been asked to discuss a quote that I like, and really I've settled upon two different quotes. When I was younger, I didn't think much about quotes. I didn't read quotes. I didn't respond to them very well. But when I moved overseas and I started doing development work, and I started working in refugee camps, and I started understanding world politics in larger circles, I started reading more. And working in those places, I found two quotes that were very important to me. The first quote was by Che Guevara, and that quote is, "When the forces of oppression come to maintain themselves against established law, peace is considered already to be broken." That's a very important lesson, I think, for anyone who leads or runs an organization, a country, or any type of system. It's one thing to have power over people already, but to keep that power, to break rules, to break laws, you offer the people that you are working with absolutely no support. And when I look at people across the country and across the world where I've worked, this is the source of the frustration. When we have places in the Middle East that violate international laws every day and there's no recourse for this, I see the anger, I see the violence. In other places, when I'm a leader, if I'm working with a student, I already have enough power. I don't have to use other kinds of power. I don't have to change rules. I don't have to be inconsistent to deal with that student. If I do, I understand how upset and how humiliating that is. So that idea that we create systems and the people that have the power are these people have the most responsibility to follow the rules that they set themselves. That power does not give them the right to reset those policies, because if not, none of us have protections. The other quote that I really liked was by Martin Luther King, and this is not an exact quote, but basically it's the other side of that about what happens when you feel that something isn't just. And his quote is, "There comes a time when a man realizes he cannot follow man's law, he must follow a higher law." If doing so, he also has to realize that he must accept the consequences, or else he becomes an anarchist. This is important to me too, that sometimes I have to do something different. I have to disobey. I have to advocate. I have to try to change something. But that I should suspect that there'll be consequences, and I have to be willing to accept those consequences. I'm not saying that we deserve them, but there are consequences. We see across the world now that there are publications and organizations that write things that anger people. And they do it to anger people. And then there are reverberations, there are consequences, there are reactions. And certainly no right-minded person would say that these things are justified, but maybe they're understandable. But when someone does decide to fight something or do something, they should accept the consequences, because without any type of consequence or responsibility, nothing would work. So for me, doing development work, working in different places, thinking about some of the crazy things I see, thinking about some of the desperate situations of people, thinking about some oppressive policies, even when I do my own work, these are the two balancing things that I try to think of. One, not to overuse the power that I might have, or the school, and two, if I'm fighting for something or I want to change something, understanding that I must face the consequences personally. Thank you.